Things are not always what they seem. Today we're going to discuss 5 stories, things that happened this week that affects you, that it should blow your mind of these stories and how no one is talking about them, or they may be hitting just the topic itself and missing actually out on the truth behind it. Let's jump into these stories today because they actually impact you more than you believe. They affect you in everyday life, and you probably know nothing about them. Let's jump into it. Today's video starts right now.
Can't believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time.
Hey guys, welcome to the Max. I don't know if you can tell, but it is absolutely flooding outside. I actually tried to film this video under a porch. It was way too loud. I literally went to the barn. It was way too loud. So again, you are stuck in the truck. So forgive me. Thank you so much for being here today. Remember, today is giveaway day. We've got several things that we're going to be showing you in just a few moments at the end of this video, and giving away 2 sets of things to send out to say thank you for subscribing and commenting on our videos for the last month. Today we're going to discuss 5 stories that you may have missed, or things that were not touched enough. We're going to hit on them real quick, but I want you to find the truth in the situations, because I want you to do your research, but realize, holy mess, this is a lot that no one's discussing. And if we don't really start seeing truth, if you get all your media and news from legacy media and Fox and CNN and MSNBC, you are very bad and mistaken, and you are not wise, and you will not find out what real truth is. Now let's talk about these 5 things and how they impact you. First story, it deals with Bitcoin and your money. Now, everybody is flocking towards Bitcoin because it's going up in crazy amounts of pricing. Everybody is flocking towards the stock market because it's going up crazy. So everybody thinks they can get rich quick. Everybody thinks that, hey, this is where I need to put my money. All right, let's debunk both of these situations. So you're taking tangible money, tangible goods. Now, again, I'm not for keeping all your money at your home. I'm not for keeping all your money in one place. So please do not take this as a way to say you put all your money in cash and have it under your pillow. I did not say that. But I want to hit on this. Bitcoin is a speculative crypto exchange or currency online. That's all it is. You mine it by using the grid. You develop the price based on the dollar. The fact is that people that believe in Bitcoin, they say it's because they want a parallel society to be able to purchase without intervention from our government. This week, Bank of America, BlackRock, the Fed, and every other monster bank came out and talked about ETFs and how they are investing their money in Bitcoin too. The fact that billions, multiple billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin is owned by these biggest players in the stock market, also your government, does not mean that this is a parallel society. The more they buy into it, the more it's just like anything else. Another thing, people push away from the dollar because it's quote-unquote backed by the federal government. I understand that. Cash will not always be king. I think we're hurting ourselves more with these sanctions in Russia. But I digress. But do you realize Bitcoin is the same thing? It is a speculative currency. It is based on nothing. It is based on a digital currency. The one thing that everybody pushes against when it comes to, central bank digital currency that everybody's pushing against, CBDCs. You're basically stating, I want to be invested in a digitized currency. It is based on nothing other than air itself. It is based on nothing. This is not gold. This is not digital gold. This is not oil. This is not a true commodity. Even though they call it a commodity, the more you invest in it, the more they can control you, because ultimately, even though they say, well, we don't know who made it, we don't know who originated it, we don't know how it's mined other than it takes a lot of energy. Well, if all of a sudden the grid goes down, all of a sudden everybody starts selling it, all of a sudden everybody realizes it's just speculative, then that $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 Bitcoin is going to be worth $10,000. It will fluctuate. Now, do you need to have some Bitcoin or not. I personally used to. I don't anymore, because the more I thought about it, in wisdom seeking advice, I just think there's no value in something that is so speculative. There's no value in something that I can't tangibly hold. If the world keeps going towards Bitcoin and digitized currency, that's falling just into what the government wants, which is a digitized footprint, which means you're going to be surveilled more, which means everyone knows what you're purchasing. Don't tell me that it can't be hacked, because every part of our government can be hacked, digitized wise. It's happened. So you think your money is safe on Bitcoin. Same way with stock market. It's going up, so everybody's wanting to invest. The more you put your money in these things, the less control you have of your money. Just think about that for a second. If you buy things like I tell you to buy, the bartering goods, the tangible goods, the gold, and having some cash, having some food, you control it because it's here. The more you put your money out and put it in the hands of these brokerage firms, these hedge funds, these stock markets, these ETFs, this Bitcoin, the more that you're not in control of your own wealth. You're playing just in the hand that they're wanting you to play into, which means they can control it. If your money's all in the stock market and it falters, what happens to your money? Bye-bye. If your money's all in Bitcoin and the grid goes down, or they control how you can spend your money on exchanges. Coinbase went down last week. Your cold wallet storage is great, but if you can't access the grid to get it out of the cold wallet storage, how good is it? Having billions of dollars in Bitcoin or digitized form doesn't mean anything if you can't tangibly use it. So please be careful of this Bitcoin and this stock market craze, because they're going to get you to invest. If everybody's telling you to invest in those things, sometimes let's think outside the box and say, why are they wanting my money so bad, and why am I willing to give it all up to not be in control of my tangible goods and my wealth? It's not a smart thing. Number 2, I told you to buy beef last week. Well, just the last few days, there's been a massive wildfire in Texas, which is killing the cattle market. It said that your beef could easily see 20 to 30% increase in price. Well, this plays right in the hands of those people telling you not to buy beef because it's not good for the environment. All of a sudden, cattle lands all over Texas has burned up. There's nothing left. There's been quotes from farmers saying, everything is burned. How am I going to feed this cattle? So if we see the grounds burned up, we see the hay burned up, we see the feed burned up, how is the place that we depend on going to provide the meat for America? I go back and say, if you're not raising your own meat, make sure you're buying it local. Well, if you're having to have food brought in from the grocery store or to the grocery store, and you're not able to raise your own food, you live in these big cities, you are completely in control of. It's kind of like the digitized currency situation. So this is what I told you, start buying cattle last week, buying beef last week, and start learning how to stockpile it, because now all of a sudden, listen to this, cattle market could see a 70-year low in beef, which will make the retail beef prices at record highs, higher than it ever was seen in the last few years during the inflation and pandemic numbers. Hamburger prices might continue to rise as the cattle market shrinks. Dwindling U.S. cattle head will impact your supermarket more than you can believe. Now, at the same time, did you know Tyson and your government and the WEF has been investing in cricket and bug markets to add protein, to find ways to have grants for your tax dollars to basically pay for proteins, because beef is not good to eat anymore. All of a sudden now we're seeing, why is the herds dropping? Why is it dwindling? Why is our cattle lands burning? And all of a sudden we had this game plan of this beef, this bug protein, all of a sudden invested in just for the last few years. Isn't that a very unique coincidence there? So stockpile beef. Make sure you're buying as much as you possibly can and learn how to can it, freeze dry it, and put it up for longevity, because if not, you will eat bugs. You will eat proteins that are made from soy. You will eat synthetic meat, not the real thing. You don't believe it? Read about it. If your beef goes up 20 to 30%, can you afford that? Most people can't. So therefore, they're going to be willing to look for other substitutes. And that plays right in the hands of the globalist. Number 3, the Pentagon chief said if Ukraine is defeated, NATO will be at war with Russia. Now, this is the exact opposite of what they've been telling you, that there will be no troops on the ground in Russia. Ukraine will not be assisted other than with money. And now all of a sudden you hear France, you hear other players saying, well, even the Dutch are saying, we need to put troops on the ground in Ukraine. We need to support them because they're going to be our newest ally. Do you see what's happening? Slowly and surely, they're making your money speak, and then all of a sudden you're saying, well, I can't keep investing money. Well, also now they're wanting to send your troops there. They're saying, well, if you're not going to put the money, we've got to put the troops there. So it is a way to get into a forever war. Did you know a lot of our trillions of dollars of debt was caused by American investing in other countries that we probably shouldn't have, that actually did not end up benefiting us? You know, the forever wars that we've been in, that we actually quote unquote have not won since like the days of World War II. These wars are actually costing us the debt. So Americans, you're paying for these world escalations and these world crises, and you don't even know it. And now we're willing to send our kids to pretty much die for it. This story also says that it's not uncommon for the defense contractors, the defense secretary, to not speak with the White House for upwards of 60, 70 days. So meaning your commander-in-chief may not even know what's actually going on, because the defense secretary, who's been in the hospital and been sick, him and his counterparts may not even talk to the White House within a 2-month period of what's actually going on. So who actually is in control of our military? Who's actually in control of our spending? Well, sadly, we have money that's being laundered. We have money that no one knows where it went. The Pentagon hadn't passed a true audit in years. So why are we allowing that to happen? All the while, you're doing your taxes right now before April 15th. If all of a sudden you don't show $100 from a 1099 that you accidentally got and you forgot about, they'll shut you down. They'll fine you. But our government can't find billions and trillions. And then our Secretary of Defense and the Pentagon are not even talking to Biden in the White House. And then on top of that, you're already hearing the facts, well, if we don't give all this money that's being laundered that no one can account for, and no inspector general over in Ukraine allocating where this money should go, we're going to have to send your troops. Now remember, that was the promise they told you that was not going to happen. But now, it's happening. Number 4, your government should have been shut down. Remember, we do these stupid little shutdowns. The Congress worked together and funds the government for like another few weeks or another few months. Well, Johnson's come out and said, well, we need to make sure that some of this money we're giving Ukraine is loans, not just giving away. So then he gets a round of applause from conservatives because we're like, hey, that's what Trump said. Everybody happy. Johnson's doing a great job. Now, look at actually what the averted spending bill looks like. It's all the same. Your conservatives are signing bills that are actually averting a shutdown, but just basically giving your tax dollars away and allowing really the Democrats and the liberals to do what they want. What that means is your Republicans are not actually being conservatives. They're not actually being fiscal conservatives. Most of them are signing up for these stupid bills to, again, take away from your freedom, add to your debt, to actually not curb spending. There's not been a lot of conservatives, actually fiscal conservatives, in our Congress in a long time. You may have the Thomas Masseys, you may have the Rand Pauls, you may have some of those that kick away from it and say, look, I'm not voting for this. But because there's such a small amount, there's such a small number of people, and because everybody's scared of losing their votes because they don't have term limits, so they want to stay up there in the uniparty forever Congress and retire there and have career moves in Washington, they're not willing to quit spending because they know when they spend money, it gets them votes. So these new shutdown moves, even though you hear the conservatives and the Republicans saying, well, we're not going to spend any more of our tax dollars. What they're doing is they're saying, well, we're not going to spend as much as what the Democrats want. They're still spending your money. They're still not balancing a budget. They're still adding to the deficit each and every year. I challenge you to look at what Mike Johnson and the Republicans just basically supported with this shutdown. Look at this continuing resolution. It's really not good for conservatives. I've yet to find a conservative in Washington that's willing to stand up and actually speaks for the majority. Not a one yet. Again, I go back to the Thomas Masseys, the Rand Pauls. There's not enough of them. If we would start term limits. I promise you, it would change a lot of things. But this shutdown, you need to shut the government down. We need a reset. We just need it in the right way. The problem is we're actually seeing signs of shutdowns that could actually benefit us. But no, we have to quit. We have to keep spending money for the votes. And therefore, all they're doing is making your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren not have an America that's free, that's not having a dollar that's worth anything, and ultimately causing a demise to America. Look at what your Uniparty is doing. Look at what your quote-unquote conservatives are doing. They're signing the same bills. They're just doing it at a little bit less money. It's kind of like this. If I'm $1 million in debt, and I don't have $1 million, I'm in debt. If I say, well, look, I don't want to spend $1 million, I just want to buy a house for $500,000 in debt. If I don't have $500,000, I'm still in a pile of debt. Do you get what I'm saying? It doesn't benefit to say, okay, we're going to use less debt. If I cannot afford it, I cannot afford it. I should go back to $100,000. I should go back to $50,000, or I shouldn't even borrow money. That's exactly what our government's doing. You have the liberals pushing for, just crazy amounts of debt, but then the conservatives are quote-unquote negotiating, and actually what they're doing is still spending way more money than we actually have. It just makes it look a little bit better, and that's why we call them conservatives, because they're wanting to conserve what little bit of money we have, but then ultimately they're still blowing it out of proportion. Compared to the Democrats, it just makes them look a little bit better. And number 5, look at the electric vehicles. Everybody's pushing for them. It's amazing how we basically are seeing central planning. It's amazing that we have not said that we want to get rid of petroleum-based cars. For the most part, most people say, I like my car and I want to keep it. If we move to an EV or electric vehicle, did you know they are controlled and they are being pretty much formulated with AI? Also, they're pretty much formulated with kill switches. They're pretty much formulated with computer ran technology. So if we can have a virus shut down our government, if we can have a cyber attack shut down our phone systems, if we can have a manipulation where Coinbase last week said, well, all your balances are there, it's just showing 0 because of system malfunction. AT&T had a quote-unquote update. Colonial Pipeline had a cyber attack that shut down the movement of petroleum for a little bit. If they can control that, they can control the money like we talked about with Bitcoin and with all these other cryptocurrencies. It can be controlled. What makes you think that your car cannot be? So I'm sitting in a 1997 Dodge that I've fully redone. It doesn't really have a lot of moving parts. It's pretty much mechanical. I took a lot of electrical stuff out of it. I also have a 1960s model truck over there. I also have 2 other cars sitting right in front that's even older than that. Now, why do I buy old cars? Well, because to be honest with you, they're not really computer ran. But why do people like new cars? Well, it's the new thing, and hey, they've got all this new technology. They look cool. All the while, with the kill switches, all the while with the computer generation, all the while with all electric parts, all the while with the new EV style technology with no petroleum. Do you not see how the more that we involve our life with things that we cannot control, the more that we will be controlled? If I cannot control my money with Bitcoin and it's digitized, they can control it. If I allow my car to be pretty much ran on a computer, but that software needs an update, or there's a virus in the software, or there's no grid to charge up the car, then I'm a sitting duck at my home and I cannot move. If I cannot control my own food system because I'm not growing my own food system, I'm not supporting the farmer because the farmer's aging out, the government is not helping the farmer, therefore we're needing to get rid of the farms. Oh wow, there's a monster fire that just burned up our cattle lands, and the fact that cattle head is down, and the fact that all of a sudden now we're needing some kind of synthesized meat that all of a sudden Bill Gates and Tyson and the government has been investing in for years for this time, then I can't control my protein and food system. I have to have intake. I have to have food to feed me. I have to have calories. Please give me some, government. Do you see all these policies, all this stuff comes back to controlling you? We just degraded our army. We took it down by the numbers. We just set different policies and DEI regulations to where our army and military need to pass all these little things. Instead of passing, strength tests, and instead of passing mental tests, we've got to indoctrinate them, just like we do in our schools. So therefore, we're making an army more worried about, if you're a male or female, or getting your pronouns right, versus actually fighting in our wars, taking care of our homeland. Well, then on top of that, no one's signing up for it because they don't want to be sent to Ukraine. They'd rather protect their own border. What are we doing, folks? These 5 stories impact you more than you believe. Your food, your money, the way you go back and forth, the security at your home, and the fact of security of our American way. If we're not sovereign, and we don't have politicians looking out for us, they're looking out for themselves, and we don't have a food system, and we are dependent to transport back and forth based on what grid we have, or what electrical part we needed, or the computer system, or the AI generation telling us that we can drive here nor there today, and then we don't have money because we don't have any tangible assets because we thought it was the right thing to do to invest it in all this new crypto, in this new Bitcoin, in this new style currency, then you are just a sitting duck needing the government to help you in every aspect of your life. Now, that's not what most people tell you, and I'm not trying to be a pessimist, but I am saying this is the reality that we're raising our children in, to rely on the government just for about everything. And it's amazing, we elect people to go to Washington to basically build new regulations and law each and every day for us to adhere to. We can't even understand what all laws we have on the books, but we allow these people to make new laws each and every day. They are in Washington almost every day making new laws to control you. And we just keep electing them to do it. Well, enough of the bad news. Again, you heard the stories. The question is, how did that wildfire start? The question is, how did all of a sudden we knew that we had a shortage of beef 10 years ago, so we started developing all this bug protein and soy protein? The question is, how did we know that these conservatives will just keep voting for all these spending bills over the last 10 years? The question is, well, all of a sudden did all the banks push against things like Bitcoin and crypto, and now they're embracing it? Things to think about, huh? All right, so let's jump into the giveaway. So the giveaway today, we're going to actually give away several things, but one is going to be our personal shirt that says, "We'll work for food." We'll work for food, if you could see that. We designed this. We're going to be selling some of these and giving some of these away at Okie Homesteading Expo. We're going to be speaking at in the next coming week. So if you're in the Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri area, remember, we're going to be doing a speaking event at the Okie Homesteading Expo. Joel Salatin will be there. We'll be there. Keeping It Dutch will be there. Arms Family Homestead will be there. A lot of different people will be there talking about growing your own food, sustainable living, and hopefully giving you some encouragement to be wise and having a common sense approach. So please make sure you're there if you can be there. If you have not heard about it, look it up. Okie Homesteading Expo. It will be in Pryor, Oklahoma, coming weeks. But we're going to be selling a lot of those there, and we're doing a meet and greet. So please come out and see us. But this is going to be one of the shirts we're giving away. We're also going to be giving away some Pro Camp Tech fire starters. This is, again, is a game changer when it comes to your prepping goods and having must-haves. So this will be one gift. And then also we're sponsored by Hollow Point Coffee Company. Hollow Point Coffee Company sends us all kind of goodies to give away, and we can't wait to give this shirt away too. So someone will get "We'll Work for Food" shirt. Someone will get a Hollow Point Coffee Company shirt. We also have a fire stick from Pro Camp Tech. This is homemade soap made here at our home by Misty, a natural lye soap that is smells amazing. This is orange, by the way. We use only the best organic essential oils and no additives, no preservatives. This soap will make your skin so much better. So we do sell this too. We'll have some at the Okie Homesteading, but I'm going to give this away today. So we have shirts, we have Pro Camp Tech gear, we have Hollow Point coffee, we have soap, we have a lot of things that could help benefit you and your family. So today's 2 giveaway winners are going to be, first winner is going to be Dawn Wingate 512. Dawn Wingate. If you can reach out to us via email, you can comment, of course, on this video, but to be honest with you, it almost gets lost in all the other comments. So please email us, and that way we can get your address, send this to you. Dawn Wingate is the first winner. Second winner is Patricia Riller or Ryler 3020. Patricia Riller or Patricia Ryler, both of you, thank you so much for watching. Again, all it was them commenting below, them subscribing to the channel, and them giving us a thumbs up. We put them in a random drawing, and those were the 2 names for basically for February. Guys, thank you so much for watching today. It means the world to me that you spend your days with us. We hope that you're getting good content from us, and more than that, we hope that you're gaining a wiser, common sense approach to living in this world and being sustainable, being a good steward, and having satisfaction by raising your family in the Christ-like way. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless. Happy homestead, y'all.